Hawthorn steady.
League leader North Melbourne looked to be running away with the match of the day until Carlton's Ken Hunter moved into top gear. Super boot Bernie Quinlan became the first Fitzroy player in history to kick 100 goals in a VFL season, but then copped the consequences. And it rained goals for the Hawks against Melbourne at VFL Park this afternoon. And a very good evening, everyone. Welcome to Sevens Big League for round 21. The match of the day this afternoon was again at Princes Park, and what a vital one it was, especially for Carlton, who had to win to stay in the five. With 5 wins on ends and a brilliant display against Hawthorn last week, the Blues took on the side that earlier in the year thrashed them by 111 points, their biggest ever loss against the Kangaroos. North, in turn, with 9 wins from their last 11 games, were on top of the ladder, and despite the loss on Thursday of dual Brownlow medalist Keith Gregg, were determined to stay there. A very big crowd was at the grounds, and we pick up play at the start of the third quarter. North Melbourne leading by 17 points. With me in the commentary box is Lou Richards.
We begin the second half at Princes Park with Carlton leading 61-44, a capacity crowd here at the Carlton Stadium. Knocked away by Fitzpatrick. Bezusto, who seemed to have his number taken at a fiery first quarter. Knock away by McDonald. Umpire Glenn James has paid the mark, nevertheless, to Montgomery at centre half back. Mark Buckley and Glenn Dinning. Oh, good use of the body by Glenn Dinning. Edged him right out. Harms, who took a screamer earlier in the match. One of the best I've seen this year. It really was a top mark. Southby. Knock away by Carlton. 2 Carlton players are there. It's picked up by Burke. Back to Ditchburn. Ditchburn from half forward in towards the 10-metre square. Too long for Ramsey to control. Out of bounds, left forward pocket for the Blues. North Melbourne had a good lead at quarter time. In fact, it was on the full. In such case, it's a free kick to North to be taken by Ramsey. Schimmelbusch takes it. The knock-on came from Dempsey in the first place. On his full 15 metres, long towards full forward. Jonas and Southby out of bounds. And this time it will be a throw-in the right forward pocket for the Kangaroos. The first quarter, one of the fieriest that we have seen this year. About 3 or 4 brawls broke out. And as I said, numbers appeared to be taken, in particular Peter Bezusto. Dool ultimately knocks it down. Plenty of fumbling out there. Hodgman got rid of that pretty smartly. It comes to Southby. Southby's kicked long, effectively along the ground. It's out of bounds. And the throw in this time right half forward. Southby with that thigh very heavily strapped today. Didn't look a little proppy early, but certainly appears to be moving quite okay at the moment. So a throw in once more. Still in North Melbourne's attacking zone, but a long way from their goal. Won by Fitzpatrick. Tries to get it to Marcoux. Jimmy Cracker. Oh, beautifully done. Let's see what he can do with the kick. The pass. Oh, Jim. On towards Jonas, and a snapshot by McDonald is smothered.
Golly.
What a mess.
Well, he took a divot out the ground bigger than you do in a fresh air golf shot, really. Chance there now as we see the ball come back into play. It's 18 points the difference in favour of North Melbourne. That's the 3rd time that Southby's kicked off before the umpire has finished waving the goals. That's how impatient he is. It's 62 points, North Melbourne to Carlton 44 into this quarter by just on 3 minutes. Ball out to the half-back flank position. The back is Bortolotto over to Sheldon, one of their good players today. Oh, Glenn Dinning and Mark Buckley having a great battle. He got into his back, Glenn Dinning, and a free kick will go to Buckley out there on the wing position. Buckley's kick is over half forward. Coming at the back is Hunter. I don't know whether he'll play. I think he'll play to Ramsey. That was a great grab by Ramsey. Short pass over to Kelly on his own. No, he didn't. He's going to pay that mark at a 15-metre penalty. Decided to play on. Give it over here now to Smith. Back to Kelly. They're messing about a bit. North Melbourne down there in the back pocket. Another short pass coming out. And a mark taken at half back by David Dench. 18 points the difference. And we're waiting for this third quarter burst by Carlton. Great mark there to Abernethy. He's up towards the half-forward line, but a good distance out from goal. Kick by Abernethy. He's up there towards the full forward position. Players set themselves. Punched out by Southby. Grabbed by English. He's grabbed. Gets a hurried kick back there towards Dool. Fumbles. Picked off. Sheldon hit him in the face with the ball. Now it's Marquezani going clear. A hand pass coming out to Marcoux. Back again there to Sheldon. And there's a go for Carlton. A break clear now as we see Glasgow out there on his own. Goes for a short pass. It'll be okay. Ditburn getting away from Dench again. That's about the third or fourth time he's done that today, and he's already kicked 2 goals. He's well within kicking distance for this fellow because he's a pretty good kick. Usually covers a bit of distance and very accurate. It'll be about 45 to 50 metres out from goal. There's the kick. Carlton got his hands to it. It missed about 5 of them. Now it's a chance here for Burke to grab it. Down goes Ashman. They pile in top of him, and the umpire will ball it up about 10 metres out from the Carlton goal. They're trailing by 18 points. And we're still waiting for that famous third quarter of Carlton, which has been, which they're renowned for. There's Burke, drops the ball, kicked off the ground again by Marcoux. He's kicked it out of bounds on the full, and a penalty free kick to go to Law down there in the back pocket for North Melbourne.
Law was involved in one of those skirmishes in the opening term. And we'll hear more about them later on. Things have quietened down though. Almost a mark to Buckley, roving as well as Marcoux. High, back towards full forward. Plenty of Carlton players are there, and who's come down with it? Bazasto. Let's watch the mark again. As I said, there were 4 of them. There's Hunter, Bazasto, Ditchburn, and Sheldon was there as well. And Bazasto coming down with the mark.
Great mark.
It was a great mark.
He'll be claiming that for the goal, the mark of the day.
Yes, he probably will too. What's he done with the kick? It's a goal. They could have tell you that. Bazasto's first goal certainly deserved it. It was a great grab. So Carlton now only trailing by 12 points, 7-8-50 to 9-8-62.
North Melbourne badly needing a goal at the moment to stop this run. We watch that again. Bazasto coming over the side of the pack, and that's a great and a typical Bazasto mark.
On Sevens Big League, 6 minutes have gone in the third quarter. 12 points the difference. Carlton fans finding voice, as is the norm in the third quarter. Knocked down by Dempsey. McCann went without the ball. Picked up by Burke, who's done well since he came on, and there's Hunter. Johnston, who plays on. Is it another goal? No.
Well, the crowd anticipating this third quarter burst again, Peter, because
they're almost expecting it to happen.
They believe that their side can do it at will, and by golly, they've certainly done that over the last few weeks.
Yes, it's almost as if they had a divine right to a third quarter 10-goal burst. Dench. Oh, beautiful kick. Knocked down by Fitzpatrick. Crowd looking for a holding the man decision. Umpire Glenn James has decided on the ball up. Fitzpatrick not too happy with the call. And it will be a bounce at left half forward for Carlton. Fitzpatrick and Dempsey. Down to Schimmelbusch. Short towards right centre wing. Dool was there first. Fumbles unaccountably. Could have got a free kick there. Perhaps tackled too high. Umpire Kevin Smith says no, and it will be a bounce on centre wing. Wind blowing mainly across the ground this afternoon, as was the case last week. Bortolotto, 35-metre punch. Bazasto and Law. It's opened up for Sheldon. That's a
free kick.
Flash.
Free kick to Ditchburn.
He collided with Glendinning. Let's watch that again. Ditchburn has kicked 2 goals, and if he kicks this, I think I'll take the cans off because we'll probably be deafened.
It's only about 30 metres out,
Yes.
Pete, directly in front just about.
Three goals to Ditchburn. The difference is 5 points. 8-9-57 to 9-8-62.
It's not for us to say new 83 Gemini makes other small cars fade by comparison.
It's new Gemini. But we...
Dempsey got it down. Over there to Abernathy. North Melbourne go back into attack, badly needing a goal at the moment to stop the rot. The ball hits the deck. It's picked up by Jimmy Crackett. He's grabbed, nearly holding the ball. It is. Well tackled by Wayne Hunt. The umpire calls play on. He didn't want to penalise them. A beautiful mark there by Glasgow. And listen to that crowd as we see Ditchburn take a mark over to Johnson. He clashes heavily. The ball is out now to Mark Buckley, a running shot at goal. And the Blues have hit the front. There they go again. Oh, listen to this crowd go mad. That's 2 goals to Buckley. And we see Carlton, 9 goals, 9-63 to North Melbourne, 9-8-62. They're in front by a point. And can this side give them a thrill at top? They certainly give their crowd their supporters their money's worth. And once again, we'll see them go into action.
Carlton, Lou, have kicked the last 6 goals. They kicked 3 in the time-on period of the second quarter, and they've already added 3 so far in the third term.
Just over 10 minutes gone of this third quarter. The Blues in front by a point. At one stage, they trailed by 37 points in that second quarter. Going through that time was a chance for Fewer to get out. Umpire said it's holding the ball. Now North Melbourne rattle at the moment. You can say that again as we see the free kick going to Burke at centre field. They go back into attack. The ball over that half-forward line. Up the top of the pack it goes. Coming in to meet it now is Hunter. He's grabbed, gets it back, or tries to get it to Bordelotto. Phil Cracker into his back now at Sheldon. The ball back up there towards the full forward position. Dempsey's grabbed the mark. And they're trailing by a point at the moment, North Melbourne. As I said before, they led by 37 points at one stage in that second quarter. Oh, there's no mark, a beautiful mark there to Few. He's been a very quiet play. He's clear now. A long hand pass coming out. It's a bit too long for Abernathy. He's got to bounce right. He goes down now. He's clear. Gets away from Glasgow. Drives the ball long. Looking up there for McCann, but he's well covered by Dool off the top of the pack. Fumbling going on. And there's the Cracker coming out the pack. A snap at goal. He's done it. And Jimmy Cracker, beautiful goal. So North Melbourne have hit the front again. By golly, this is grand final football at the moment, and these two could be playing off. 10 goals, 8-68 North Melbourne to Carlton, 9-9-63.
Yes, if ever North Melbourne needed a goal, then it was Jimmy Cracker. And look at this. Burrows in. How did he get out of there and kick a goal? That was unbelievable. Great goal by Cracker. And the fine third quarter of football we're watching here. North answering the challenge. We approach the 12-minute mark. 5 points the difference. 68-63. Carlton go into attack again. Mark Buckley is there. Glendenning right there with him. Buckley wins out. Superb spin onto Hunter. Hunter 20 metres out. Make it 10 and a goal.
Oh, what a game this is, Peter.
3 goals to Hunter. 7's big league action. 1 point the difference again. 69-68. And we hope viewers through ESPN in the United States are enjoying the action. Australian football at its best.
Now that was Mark Buckley. Great play as he gets it over to Hunter. Even greater play by Hunter. Upended but still kicked the goal. Oh, what a game of football this is, Pete.
12 and a half minutes gone. What a game indeed. 69-68. A chance for Abernathy. He goes over, but umpire Kevin Smith has decided on a bounce, which will be, as you can see, just wide of the circle. Fitzpatrick gets the front posse, but knocked away by Dempsey. Hodgman looking for a free kick. Phil Cracker likewise. That was an Academy Award performance, though. Demetriou under Peter Smith. Up the half forward. Missed by English. McCann and Dool. Dool hanging on. Montgomery. Marcazzani. from right half back. Spears the pass up to Marcoux. Ramsey. Oh, guts that. Mario's there, and a good mark by Bordelotto. On the Wayne Harms, but Phil Cracker's got him. Shimmer. Phil Cracker again. Shepherd from Jonas into full forward. Jimmy's there. Oh, thought about playing on.
That was a magnificent pass from Phil Cracker too, and good play on the part of Wayne Schimmelbusch.
Yes.
Spotted him coming past him there and didn't hesitate. Now a chance now for Cracker to put this one to. This is Jimmy Cracker going for goal number 3. And our North Melbourne are back in front again. 3-minute mark of the third quarter. North Melbourne in front by 5 points. Knocked out by Dempsey. Kicked out there by Aspen. Back it goes to Mark Sheldon. Been a very good play today for Carlton. That's his 16th kick as he kicks the ball long. There's Ditchburn once again getting away from Denks. He's got away all day from him. And he's already kicked 3 goals. He's led beautifully, this fellow from West Australia. That's a magnificent lead and a great mark. Going for a short pass. It'll be okay, I should imagine. It'll be marked there to Burke, and he's played very well this third quarter. He's had 9 kicks. He's coming on, and he's put it through again. So the Blues have hit the front again by a point. Oh, what a game this is. And these two sides could be playing up for the grand final. What a treat they'll give the supporters if they do that. 11-9-75 Carlton to North Melbourne 11-8-74. So it's woe for go all the time now. Real seesaw stuff as we go back to the centre. It'll be Dempsey. As a matter of fact, Dempsey's won most of the knockouts in these last few encounters, Peter.
The lead has changed 5 times in the last 6 minutes. At Princes Park, 16 minutes gone. Carlton, of course, have kicked most of the goals, though, in this quarter. A point the difference, 75-74. Dempsey and Fitzpatrick, won by the latter, but he didn't get it too far. Johnston does. Up to centre half forward. Glendinning. Oh, Marcoux is there. On to Bazusto. Here's danger for North Melbourne. Bazusto. Hunter!
Well, what a start he's turning out this quarter, Peter.
Yes, they'll have to put somebody on him.
He's a magnificent player, just the same. You can keep him out of the game, and then all of a sudden he bobs up and he's a match for him. If you call him explosive, that's the word for him.
Patrick making the lead, but only a dummy really. Rather well within kicking distance, but he's on a fair angle, as you can appreciate. He's not far out from the boundary line. Going to try the banana kick, it would appear, judging by the way he's held the ball, and he's put it through. 4 goals to Ken Hunter. And aren't they happy? 12-9-81 to 11-8-74. The hand pass on. English. Short towards centre wing. Johnston again. Demetriou. And here comes our man with the water bottle. He's coming over. He's done another lap. As I said, he's hardly been off the ground. There he is. Might be able to umpires reports about that.
Might be something in the bottle.
Well, he's not the official club runner, Lou. That's the point I'm trying to make. A bounce on centre wing. Knock away by Dempsey. Chance for the Kangaroos to go forward here, and it's picked up by Abernethy at right half forward flank. Shepherd is on. Now he's gone for the hand pass to Schimmelbusch. Back to Jonas. Back it comes to Abernethy in the pocket. He shoots from an almost impossible angle and hit the post.
It's the third time today.
Yes, twice I think in the first quarter, and now here. 90-88. Carlton lead by 2 points. Glascott calling for it. Harms goes wide towards the outer side. 32,000 here this afternoon. You'll have to bring it back, though, I think.
That's the 4th time.
And there's the water bottle again.
That's the 4th time that Southby's done that.
Now, you'll find that water bottle won't be used. He'll talk to a player. He's talking this time to English. And that guy is not the official runner.
Well, that's fixed him up, Pete. He'll never do it again the next match, I shouldn't imagine.
I'll talk to the umpire's advisor during the week, Luke. There's got to be a story there. Montgomery got high. Oh, gee, Schimmelbusch is, I think it's Schimmer bleeding from the eye. Now it's Collins. Collins it is. Umpire's found a free kick. That's not a bad one. I don't know when he got that, but I dare say it'll hurt. Glascott. Pass to centre wing. Trying to find Sheldon. Oh, down goes Jimmy Cracker from Fitzpatrick. And he bounces up too. Picked up by English. Onto Mark Buckley. Missed it. Hunter shoots it out. Back to Mark Buckley again. Lobs it high. Almost a mark to Johnston. Picked up by Bosusto. It won't travel more than a few metres. Couldn't be a mark. Didn't travel far enough, no. Johnston into the goal square. Almost a mark again. And away go the Kangaroos. Ball driven back towards centre wing. Oh, free to Fitzpatrick, surely, for on the shoulder. And Fitzy will take it on left centre wing. Carlton go into attack again.
There's the short pass, not a bad one either. It'll be okay, and a mark there to Burke. Just missed him that time, Glendinning. The difference still 2 points in favour of Carlton. 10.5 minutes gone of this last quarter, and this has been a great game here today. 32,000 people have enjoyed every moment. There's the kick, a beautiful kick too that time. A magnificent kick by Burke. That's goal number 2. And of course, North Melbourne now 13-10-88 to Carlton 14-12-96. Well, that's a great goal by Burke, and he's been a fine player since coming on the ground about halfway through the second quarter. That's his 15th kick, and of course he's kicked 2 goals. His father would be very proud of him too, I would say.
Yes, Stuart Burke, former Carlton player. I'm sure would echo those sentiments. Lead 96-88 in favour of Carlton. The Blues lead by 8 points.
Well, Fitzpatrick got that one down, going after it now as Schimmelber scooped it in nicely, hooks the ball back to centre half forward. There's Wayne Harms flying, but backing out well as English. That's his go as he picks up the ball at half back. A hand pass to Glasgow, doesn't bounce right. Demetrio's there with him, they both go down. Dimitri got one in the back. It'll be a free kick to Demetrio. And he takes the free kick out there on the centre wing position. North Melbourne trailing by 8 points. Badly needing a goal at the moment, but still well within striking distance. Kick by Demetrio's up there towards half forward. McCann in the front posse couldn't hold the mark. Dill's got him well covered at the moment. The kick bounces too high. Coming at the back is Smith. Well, Gully, he caught Burke that time pretty heavily. The umpire said it was okay. And a list of those Carlton supporters go mad on that decision. It'll be Dempsey and Fitzpatrick. Dempsey got it down. Marcoux fumbles. They all go in there. Finally going in after the ball that time was Abernethy, but he couldn't pick it up. And there'll be a ball up on the centre wing position. With Carlton still in front by 8 points. They're 14-12 to North Melbourne 13-10. 12.5 minutes gone of this last quarter. A vital one for Carlton as they get the ball out now. Through Fitzpatrick over to Burke. Bordelotto's grabbed. He's grabbed by the arm. The umpire said play on as the ball goes out to Hunter. Over to Sheldon. He'll have a running shot at goal. What's the result? Not a bad sort of a kick either. It was touched by Ashman. Oh, golly, he should have let it go. Look at him saying to himself, why did I do that?
Well, you can't blame him, Lou. He had to try, I think.
I think he should have shoved it off that time. I don't know. You could have been in 2 minds. It wouldn't be fair to say that.
No, it's easy to criticise from up here. Phil Cracker. Oh, beautiful tackle by Ashman. Mark Buckley. And Phil Cracker onto Marquezani. A pot shot from the angle. Looks a beauty. Oh, what a goal! 2 goals to Mark Buckley. And the Blues, I think, sewing this game up. And Marquezani, 15-13, 103 to 13-10, 88. Let's watch it again. Onto Marquezani from Mark Buckley. And steady from the angle, and a fine goal. Approaching the 14-minute mark now of the final quarter, 103 points to 88. Carlton going right on with the job, and if they win here today, they'll sew up a place in the 5. Mark taken by Jim Cracker. Yes, good mark to Southby. I think the other sides in the final 5 would not be too happy to see Carlton in it again. Marcoux in front of Kelly. McDonald warming up to come back on. Mark taken by Harms at centre half back.
Really the best player on the ground, this fella, Peter.
Yes, what a screamer he took earlier in the match, Lou. One of the best marks of the year. Away they go again. Marquezani up the full forward. Ditchburn on his own.
That's about 5 or 6 times he's got away from Dents today.
Yes, it is. And Mark Buckley coming off the ground.
We've taken 5 or 6 marks, but every time he's got away from Dents, that could be a problem for North Melbourne.
Howell coming back on. Mills also swinging the changes. McDonald coming back onto the ground. For Collins. Ditchburn's got 3 goals. I think he may have missed that one. And puts it through for 1 behind. So the scores 104 now to 88, and we're just over the 15-minute mark. Dench to bring the ball back into play, and my mate with the water bottle is still out on the ground.
Well, he may not be out next week because Peter doing a full report on that as the ball comes over to Mark Kew. A running shot at goal. Not a bad sort of a kick, but it veered off at the last moment and through for 1 point. So it's 17 points the difference now at the 15.5-minute mark. And Carlton doing it well. All the bounce gone out of North Melbourne at the moment. And of course, this would be a big lift for Carlton because the last time these two sides met, North thrashed them by 112 points. There's a long kick by Dempsey back to centre field. Dempsey's in front, grabbed the mark. Well, he's won most of the knockouts, but they've been sharked away since half-time by the Carlton small men. Dempsey again, picked it up like a rover. Goes for a short pass there to Cracker. That's Phil Cracker going in. Fitzpatrick dives on the ball. Goes for a hand pass. Going through is Hodgman. Over to Cracker again. And Phil Cracker gets it out wide, looking there for Abernathy. He takes the mark out there at half forward. North Melbourne trailing by 17 points. He goes for a kick there to Schimmelbusch. Well played by English. The ball tipped down. Mark Azani. Back to Wayne Johnson. And the dominator's clear. A hand pass coming over to Mark Kew. And this is Carlton at their best. Getting around his opponent. At centre half forward, a hand pass to Hunter. And they look good as he goes for a kick at goal. Not a bad sort of a shot either. It's a goal. Oh, what sort of football is that by Carlton? 5 goals to Hunter. Yes. 16-15, 111 Carlton. To North Melbourne, 13-10, 88.
Sevens Big League is part of the Holden Premiership season.
And speaking of Premiership, Carlton eyeing their 3rd in succession. Another great performance at Princes Park. They won the match by 33 points. Ken Hunter finished up with 7 goals, a match-winning effort. Ditchburn got 3. Looks like the answer at full forward, certainly. For North Melbourne, Jim Cracker 4 and McCann got 4 goals. McCann taken out of the game, though, once Bruce Dool was moved on to him at centre-half back. Stats on the match, let's check them now. The kicks very much in favour of Carlton. The marks 82-69. The frees 36-27. The handballs, interesting, 76-102. The hit-outs, only a difference of 6 in favour of North. And the shots at goal 40-31. Peter Bosustow, as we mentioned in the news, was reported by 3 umpires on 2 striking charges. Scott Palmer will have details of all the reports in that match coming up a little bit later on. Right now, you're watching Sevens Big League. We'll take a break and we'll be back with more. Once again to their sporting editor, Scott Palmer.
Good evening, Peter. Football's really warming up. Welcome viewers again to the Sunday Press. It wasn't the main game out there at Waverley, but whenever Ron Barassi's around, things happen. Barassi was seen to have a, quote, squabble, unquote, with one of his players, Alan Johnson, at 3/4 time at the park, but wouldn't talk about it later. Alan's very intense about his football. That's all Barassi would say. Barassi was probably upset too that defender Stephen Ick trod on one of those sprinklers at the park, hurt his Achilles tendon, and will have to enter hospital tomorrow. It was Melbourne's worst 4 quarters for the year, according to RDB. Alan Jean said it was good that Michael Tuck got into gear before the finals. He kicked 6 great goals. We went out there to get 4 points, said Jeansy. Get some competition before the finals. We got both. North Melbourne's coach Barry Cable said the league leaders lacked commitment after half-time and gave up running against Carlton. And they're the side to beat for the finals, said Cable. A big statement from the North Melbourne coach. The Blues, however, have problems. Peter Bosustow is reported for 2 striking charges, 2 separate incidents involving Brownlow medalist Gary Dempsey and the other John Law. Mario Bortolotto is also up for striking Donald McDonald. The tribunal, it'll be vital for Carlton's finals hopes on Monday night. David Parkin said that after the Bosustow incident, the Blues set their jaw and went for the win. Tony Jewell said that St Kilda lost today because they lairised. He was referring to that 39-point lead that disappointed in the last quarter. The Bulldogs kicked 7-1 against the wind and 1 on the siren. Jewell said he could clean out 30 players from the club for next year. We have to find footballers who know what the game is about, he said. Bluey Hampshire nearly had a heart attack when Ian Williams lined up that last shot of the day, but he was delighted with the wind. Bluey doesn't know whether the players will use that $21,000 from the sponsors for the 3 wins in a row to go on the trip or not. It'll be decided next week against the Swans. Callett, Purser and Simmons are all carrying injuries there tonight. Geelong's Tommy Hapey also just suggested a clean-out might be necessary at Cardinia Park after today's humiliation. It was our worst game for the year, he said, and the players will have to take a long look at themselves. Essendon's Kevin Sheedy was naturally pleased, but said next week's game against Carlton was the big one for the Bombers. He said it was now possible his side might have to meet the Blues 2 weeks in a row, but he'll have a full list to pick from. Paul van der Haar will be back. Burnley Quinlan got his 100th goal late in the game at the Junction, and Robbie Walls is very, very pleased. His players now can get on with a matter of kicking goals for themselves and doing a job for the team, not worrying about Bernie. I was pleased today the way we built our lead bit by bit, said Robbie. Walls has a problem, however. How does he drop Mark Scott for Gary Sidebottom next week? Scott with 4 was the Lions' chief goal getter today. Collingwood's John Cale said, myself and the players are ashamed. So many of our good guys didn't give a yelp today. It was our most important game of the year and we blew it. Mike Richardson also was reported for striking Leon Harris. Bye-bye Maggies for the year. Back to you, Peter.
By Scotty, and full details of those reports in the Sunday Press out tomorrow. Well, like Hawthorn, Fitzroy earlier in the season looked good things for the grand final, but the last few weeks haven't indeed been kind to the Lions. 4 losses in 6 matches still saw them in second place on the ladder, but only on percentage, and of course their confidence was rocked with their shock loss to Footscray last week. Collingwood, 4 points and 3% outside the 5 on the other hand, were desperate for success, otherwise it meant mothballs for season 1983. A lot at stake then at the Junction Oval this afternoon. For Collingwood at least, it took on the appearance of an elimination final. At the ground, Sandy Roberts and Bob Skilton, and we pick up play at the 3-minute mark of the second quarter.
It's the first score of this quarter. Grant Laurie goes straight up to centre, straight into the arms of Greg Phillips. 15-metre penalty will be paid against Coleman. And Phillips will give this a bit of a shake, Sandy.
Yes, he can kick a football. Hasn't been known to act, but I think he's picked up a couple of tips since he's been over here, Gregory. He'll use a wobbly old punt. He's going to make it to the square, but that's all. And little Leon comes away. Good mark taken by Murray Brown. Play on, says the umpire. Brown's kick wobbling towards Cloak. It was too low for him. Coleman gets taken out of it. Williams is there for Collingwood. Socket off the ground again. Pushed back towards the half-forward line of Laurie Serafini is manning, and he gets the free kick. Goes long. Scott comes out too early. Picken judges it beautifully. It was the pressure that Picken applied to Scott. Well, Billy knows that John Orchik is here from Cockshop and he's putting on an act. And look at the act. He's done marvellously well. 30 metres. And a pick and kick, I'm afraid. To half forward, but Richardson's in front. Takes the mark, but an infringement has gone against Collingwood. And who's going to take that, Bobby?
Clayton it is from the half-back line. Goes short. Looks for Leon Harris and the sliding mark. Harris was going to play on. Now he goes for the short pass. Makes it very awkward there for Thornton. It's punched away. Taken by Phillips. Phillips hand pass into the centre looking for Dacos. Missed it completely. Nettlefold comes through. Puts the ball up towards the forward pocket. Quinlan a chance now as he gets the right bounce. Can he put the ball through? Hooks it too far and 1 more point. So that's 2 points to Bernie Quinlan so far in this game. Could call it the nervous 90s, as you did say, Sandy.
Well,
because the crowd goes silent as Bernie attempts to put that ball through. That's Craig Stewart. Favouring the drop punt this time. Still a nice kick. Richardson in the front position. Punched away by Harris. Taken by Taylor. The hand pass towards Richardson. On now to Tony Shaw. He does likewise to Miles. Miles coming up towards the centre wing. The left foot kick. Not a long kick. Parrish in the front position. Had it punched away, but he recovers. It's a hand pass over the top, looking for Osborne. Knocked away by Williams. Williams recovers, gets the boot to ball, comes out towards the boundary line. Over it goes just before Miles can control it. So a throw-in to take place virtually on centre wing. A little bit closer to the half-forward line for Collingwood than the actual centre wing position.
6.5 minutes gone. Phillips over the top, straight to Serafini. Shrugs off an ear, gives it to Billy Loken. Away goes the former North Adelaide centreman. Long, but the bounce being a drop punt could be good. It is good for Billy. And the Roys have tied the scores away. 3-5 apiece on Sevens Big League.
Yes, the Fitzroy players were delighted with that effort. And Logan, I think, seeing that Quinlan had led to one side, takes the hand pass now almost on the half-back line. It's from the centre and puts the long kick in. He saw that there was an open forward line and so went for the long kick, and we saw the result, 1 goal. Centre bounce. Fellows gets the ball down. Tony Shaw comes through. Shaw's kick really wobbles forward, punched away by Coleman, kicked off the ground by Harris. It's all Collingwood as Phillips gains possession. Comes back, gives a hand pass out wide, looking for Dacos. Dacos now not knowing which way to go, comes back yet again, goes for the short pass and finds Walsh. So it's Walsh with the ball on the half-forward line as we see Cloak and the big fellow Coleman in the goal square. Walsh with the kick, right into the goal square, punched away by Coleman, picked up by Williams, chance of a goal coming up as Williams snaps, but he's offline and only 1 point. So Mark Williams has 2 points on the board, and it's 3-5 Fitzroy, 3-6 Collingwood, a 1 point margin, and just kicked then by Mark Williams.
Laurie going to the outer side, kicking out by both sides. Stewart and Laurie has been marvellous. Matt Brendel gets a favourable bounce even though he's on the left foot, and he's gathered 30 or 40 metres, but it'll go over the line for a throw in some 30 metres out.
So with 2 kicks, it's almost in the forward pocket, Sandy.
Well, that's exactly right. Particularly if Loken gets it from the centre. It's 1. 8 minutes gone. Quinlan's hurried kick. Under plenty of pressure. Billy chanced his arm. He's got backup support, however, through Miles. His handball's dangerous. Scott, the left foot snap. He goes. The Royals are in front. Dummies once, has a bounce. The Royals are threatening at the moment. Billy Loken leaves it for Bernie. Now here's a set shot.
It's a long way out though.
Oh, it's 20 metres for Bernie. Bobby, give him a break. It's only 60 yards. That's a shocking kick by Quinlan. Scott is down there in the square. I bet you this is going to happen every time Quinlan gets a shot today. He'll probably kick 1-9.
You wouldn't wish that on him,
No,
Sandy.
of course I wouldn't wish it on him, but it's a commentator's nightmare, as you know. Fellows wins it over the back towards Brown, who gives it to Byrne, under some pressure. Nettlefold. He's had a marvellous game thus far, but the boundary line a little too close for him, and he sees it over.
So the throw-in will be on centre wing. 29 Fitzroy, 24 Collingwood. So a 5 point margin in favour of the Roys at the moment. A very tight game as Rendell gets the ball down, but this time the umpire felt that he was being held, and Matt Rendell will take the free kick. Over the centre half forward position, Quinlan up high, couldn't take the mark, yes. Comes on again, left, right, then gets a hand pass in towards Gotch. Gotch taps it over the top, but it goes over the boundary line, and we'll find a throw in the forward pocket for Fitzroy.
Well, that didn't work then, did it? Scott and Quinlan.
One player has to be the one going for the mark, the other either giving the lead or waiting for the crumbs. And Mark Scott in the front position. Down to Wilson. Wilson's kick coming forward. Really didn't travel 10 metres, as we find. Ania almost kicking a point. Picken picked it up, got it across to Taylor. Taylor now looks for Miles on the wing. He's up high, couldn't take the mark. Carlton takes possession, gives a hand pass over the top towards Harris. Harris now down. He's put down after he got the kick, and so the free kick will go upfield, and the pencil might be coming out. Richardson of Collingwood looks as though he may be reported. No. Harris being told by umpire Saws, I believe that Richardson of Collingwood has been reported, and I see the boundary umpire also with the pencil out looking at numbers. Sandy?
What for?
Unduly rough play, I think, was what it's turned. I wouldn't have reported him personally, but
football.
But it was late.
is. So Paul Roos. Short to Scott. Oh, Marcus. Threw it out the back door. There are all sorts of bother there. Bradley Gotch may get the free kick. Billy Picken went over the top. Don't get too flustered, Collingwood. Gotch has a chance of putting the Roys further ahead. They lead by 5 at the moment. Gotch has yet to goal. But that sequence of events could see an 11-point break. Bernie in the square with Craig Stewart. He should kick over him. He's only 35 metres out. The left footer. And he got 11 points favouring the Roys here at the Junction Oval of 7's Big League.
Bradley Gotch is certainly, you can see there the size of Bradley Gotch being dwarfed by Laurie Serafini, who is not a giant, but Bradley Gotch has played a big part in this Fitzroy score. We'll await the centre bounce. It's 35-24, 9 points, 11 points I should say. Did fail plasticine, Sandy.
To say nothing of maths.
And once again, Fellows gets it down. The kick from Richardson smothered. Rendell puts the ball out and towards a half-forward flank. It's into no man's land. Racing after it, we see Brown of Collingwood, Roos of Fitzroy. They both dive in. Brown wins out. Gets it across to Walsh. Walsh now up towards the half-forward line. Nettlefold backing back. It's punched away by Tony Shaw, and so a throw-in to take place.
The double chance for one side and fifth spot for another, so it can't be more vital. Fitzroy look the better side at the moment, Bobby, to me.
In the last 10 minutes or so they have, but before that, Collingwood looked dangerous all of the time.
I agree.
Kicked off the ground by Clayton. Gotch again comes out with a ball, proving dangerous down there. Gotch puts it back. Quinlan waiting for it. Takes it. Almost dropped it. Well, he did actually drop it, but the umpire had blown the whistle. And Parrish was down the ground calling for it, but Bernie is going to have the shot. He's 45 metres out, directly in front. Goes towards goal, and number 99 comes up.
So one to go for Bernie. 99. And the Roys move further ahead. 6-5 to 3-6.
Certainly in kicking for goal they were. The Magpies kicking at the big ones, absolutely atrocious. We pick up play now in the third quarter. The Lions leading by 25 points, and we're 21 minutes into the third term.
So Laurie brings it back into play. Straight down the middle. Past Parrish it goes. Clayton is there. It's 3 against 2 there, with Parrish and Clayton having to do the work, and Hanbury is able to come away with it to Dacos. He's getting a couple of touches now. Can't get away, however. He's forced to put a high kick down towards full forward. Harris was waiting at the back. Shaw is there for Collingwood. What can he do this time? Tucked on an awful angle. He hooks it back towards Beers, but I think he went over the line. Yes, a throw in that left forward pocket.
Collingwood still haven't kicked a goal since quarter time, Sandy.
Long time between breaks.
The chance now as Tony Shaw comes out with a free kick. And Shaw is only 25 metres out on about a 45-degree angle. So, Tony Shaw. Shaw from the forward pocket. Collingwood have scored a goal. So their fourth goal, their first since quarter time, brought up by Tony Shaw. And see, that's the first goal of the quarter, Sandy, because Fitzroy haven't scored a goal in this term either.
No, it's been pretty tight, as we see why Shaw was given the kick in replay again.
And in comes Tony Shaw, ducks ahead, and gets the free kick.
Be some interesting decisions on What's Your Decision in World of Sport tomorrow. We'll have to wait and see on those. 4:15 to 8:10. Centre bounce won by Fellows. If the Woods only want one more goal, and they're in for an enormous final quarter. Loken, however, repels that attack momentarily, goes to the half-forward line where Paul Roos picks it up ahead of Mickey Conlon. down towards the half-forward line. We've forgotten about Bernie Quinlan. He still needs 1 for his 100, but he sees it over the line this time and another throw-in.
Thrown in the forward pocket, Mark Scott and Wes Fellows, the two number 23s. Scott in the front position, beaten by that time by Fellows. Hanbury comes out with the ball and puts a long kick over the centre. Serafini up, punches the ball away. Walsh comes through, gets the hand pass in. It goes straight to Serafini. Serafini puts the hand pass out wide. It went past Laurie, but enabled him to recover. Laurie puts the pass down, looking for Gotch. Dives, but can't take it. Very close to the boundary line. It's just gone over the line, and we'll find a throw-in to take place on the half-forward line for Fitzroy. 19 points to margin between the sides. 24 minutes almost into the third term.
Rendell over the top. Dacos is there. Shoved out of it. Conlon didn't help his cause by bringing the arms away and inferring that he had made a mistake. Across the ground is dangerous. Carlton picks it up for Fitzroy. Gets the handball across to Roos. Another one into the open space. Where's Bernie? McCormack caught. Fitzroy fans cry for holding the ball, but players allowed to go on. And Bernie Quinlan, in fact, has given away the free kick. A tackle too high. The Fitzroy player down behind the play too.
It's Scott.
Not looking 100%.
No, it's not Scott. Gary Wilson, possibly.
Well, we'll keep an eye on him, Bobby, as Allen takes the free kick. Down towards centre wing. Nettlefold the target. Used the body well, but was unable to complete the mark. Osborne is there. He sees it over the line. I think you're right. It was Gary Wilson behind the play. Okay now, up and about. Clayton. Roos, the quick handball to Parrish. Don't tell me the defender's going to goal. He has. Grant Laurie goals, and the Royals answer the challenge by Collingwood and put on their night. 9-10 to 4:15 on Seven's big lead.
Yes, well, Grant Laurie today has actually been, well, he's done most of the kicking in, Sandy, so you could say it's the back pocket player who just kicked the goal. You watch again as Parrish takes the hand pass, gives it across to Grant Laurie, and a lovely kick. So Fitzroy's first goal for the term.
Centre bounce, and from it there's been someone infringing in the square, a Collingwood player. So Wilson receives from Rendell, goes to the half-forward line. Quinlan comes out, unable to complete the mark. And once again, that Collingwood defence is put under pressure. And what pressure they've been under. Richardson will be first to this ball, although Leon Harris is pressuring him towards the boundary line. Well done, Leaper. He takes him over.
Yes, good play by Leon Harris. He pressured that one into going out of bounds. So from the throw-in now, Rendell gets the tap, taken by Richardson. High floating kick. All Fitzroy, and two of them collide. And unfortunately, though, Parrish comes out with a mark. A short pass. Rendell, the player who takes the mark. So Rendell on centre wing. 25 points the lead. 23 points it was at half-time. So a very even quarter. From behind, Quinlan was up high. Quinlan going after it. Dives in underneath. Can't come out with the ball, though. And so the umpire decides it's time for a bounce. So the bounce on the Fitzroy half-forward line. Scott against Fellows. Scott gets it to Gotch. A good piece of ruck work. Gotch puts the ball forward. Quinlan from behind. And the roars of the crowd as Bernie Quinlan lining up for goal number 100.
And the first Fitzroy player to do it. Now the crowd is already, this is a bit silly because you see them in the background there jumping over, ready to make their way onto the ground and forget about it because Bernie has gone right across the face of goal. And unfortunately for him and the Fitzroy fans, has gone out of bounds on the full. What are his stats today, Bobby? 1-3, 1-2, and one out of bounds on the full. 2 out of bounds on the full. Well, McCormack will bring it back into play now that the crowd has settled down again. To the half back line, Fellows takes the mark, across to Allen, onto the left foot, he'll go. To the half forward line, Phillips gave a slight nudge, went unnoticed. Scott Clayton, what a game he's played.
He's played a fine game, Sandy.
Into the centre.
Grant Laurie seems to be doing as he likes. Hand passes now to Loken. And Loken with the long kick up towards the square. A free kick to Fitzroy, I think.
Scott.
And, Mark Scott directly in front. He's kicked 2. And should have no trouble with this. He's only 15 metres out. And, well, you cannot get any more direct, Sandy. Be a disgraceful kick if he misses. He doesn't. It's 3 goals to Mark Scott.
Point lead in the final term. We're some 8 minutes into the quarter.
From half back. Puts the ball in towards the centre. Clayton in front of Dacos. He's done a marvellous job, Clayton. Gives the hand pass to Nettlefold. It puts it wide. Rendell, a one-hander. What a great game he's played. Hand pass on now to Parrish. Parrish can't handle it cleanly. Fitzroy fiddling around a bit at the moment. It's Philip Walsh. After a great first half, quite in the third quarter. Now he puts the ball forward. Serafini and Richardson. Richardson brought the ball down. The hand pass comes to Clayton on that occasion from Harris to Serafini, to Nettlefold, to Carlton. And Carlton goes goalward through the centre. Lee Carlton kicks his first goal. A great piece of teamwork by the Fitzroy side. Doing as they like, Sandy.
They are at the moment. Good direct football, great teamwork. 12-12 to 4-15 on Sevens Big League. And we see in replay, and at the other end of the ground, I was watching Bernie Quinlan. He stayed back, then he came out, and Lee Carlson just put it straight over the top for a very good goal. 84 plays 39. It's almost time to say good night to Collingwood. Centre bounce or too high on Thornton. Play allowed to go on, and yet Hanbury was tackled too high. Well, it really is like entering Tatslotto at times. To the half-forward line, Phillips goes with a mighty punch. So too does Cloak on to Williams, and he goes. A little belated, but it is their 5th goal in almost 4 quarters of football. 5-15 to 12-12 on Sevens Big League.
Fine play by Greg Phillips there as we see the ball now. And this is where Phillips thumps the ball over the top, which allows Cloak to put it over the top again, and an easy goal to Mark Williams.
Collingwood's 2nd goal for the half, Bobby.
Yes, they've found it very hard to break through this Fitzroy defence. Nettlefold, Laurie, Osborne, Serafini. What gets past there? Thornton and Coleman. So it's been a great defence.
Centre bounce once again with Fellows and Rendell. The former winning it. Laurie through, but without the football. Beers across to Shaw, who gives it onto Allen. Onto his left foot he'll go. The drop punt into the square. Parrish pushes it over. It hits the post for a behind. Their 4th rushed. 12-12 to 5-16. Harris the target, the little rover. He takes it very confidently across to Glenn Coleman. Coleman to the half-forward line. Roos waiting at the back. They're all there. Gotch, Quinlan, I don't know what he wants to do. He'll try and draw Stewart, will he? But he can't. And he goals.
Stewart wasn't going to leave.
He was not going to move. He said, you're not kicking 100th on me. And he didn't. But nevertheless, it's another one on the board. And Fitzroy doing as they like. Collingwood, I'm afraid it's time to say good night.
You could almost read Stewart's mind. He was saying, well, Bradley Gotch can kick the goal. I am not going to leave Quinlan. Well, at the moment, Bradley Gotch coming right up. And then the Cloak off the ground. That's what the rule was for. Cloak off, Russell on. Centre bounce, 90 to 46. So it's 44 points, the lead held by Fitzroy. As Fellows gets the ball out. Comes back towards Rendell. Rendell's kicked the ball centre half forward. A good mark taken by Byrne almost. But Byrne gets the hand pass in now. Taken out there by Stewart. Stewart puts the ball out wide to the wing. Walsh up, hooks it on. Laurie was coming through though. Got a push in the back, and Grant Laurie will take the free kick. 15-metre penalty. So it's Grant Laurie. Wide, where we see Conlon completely clear. Conlon hoping to have a run. Does so. Bounce again.
Oh dear.
Puts it in towards the goal square. It's a great goal, Nicky Conlon. Well, they're the things that we know Nicky Conlon can do. Took the ball almost on the wing. Took the gamble, and a gamble it was, as we watch on replay. Gets past one. Another bounce. And, of course, he snapped true. 96 to 46, 50 points.
From the bounce once again. Shaw to Picken. Williams from behind is first away. Goes Goldwards. He's off target and one behind only. 5-17. Collingwood to Fitzroy's 14-12. Almost double their score. And at the other end of the ground, Bernie Quinlan waits patiently. Tapped out to Hanbury from Shaw. Ridden into the ground, but John O'Neill had absolutely no choice. Carlton receives to Les Parrish. He goes short. Overrun by all. And a throw in at centre wing. Just in front of the members' crowd. No decisive tap away. Beers caught. Osborne has an airy. Wilson. And another bounce. Played some 18 minutes almost of this final term. Rendell down the throat of Wilson like lightning, gives it to Gotch. Now where's Quinlan out on the lead? Here's a charge. You've got this one. It will be a prodigious kick if he does it.
Everybody saying, have a shot, no matter where you are.
It'll be the torpedo, will it? No, I think he might use the drop punt. It's high, it's long, it's there!
It's 100!
100 goals to Bernie Quinlan, and here they come in their thousands. Well, you can put time on now for probably 10 minutes. They are there in their thousands, and now where are the police? Because he's going to be absolutely mobbed. Great performance. And yet, as I look around, there are probably 3 policemen.
And Bernie Quinlan, the first Fitzroy player in league history to kick 100 goals in a season.
Yes, well done, Bernie Quinlan. A splendid effort by the Fitzroy full forward, and he was a very popular man out there this afternoon. And Sandy and Bob had a break virtually for some 5 or 6 minutes while they got the fans off the ground. And I believe some portions of the fence were indeed flattened in the race to get out to Bernie. But a great effort, as Bob mentioned, the first Fitzroy player to kick 100 goals in a season. And we'll be talking to Bernie a little bit later on. But right now, let's go back to the match at the Junction Oval.
Rendell, front spot. Phillips behind. Richardson, a snap. Into the square. Waiting there is Russell, and he'll have a set shot for goal. But hardly a ripple from the crowd. He's sensing that Collingwood have finished for the year. He goals, and it's goal number 6 for the Wood. 6-18. 58 to Fitzroy's 15-12. 102 on Seven's big lead.
These all actual shots at goal, Sandy. Fitzroy have had 31 shots at goal. Collingwood 28. So, you know, many of Collingwood's have gone out of bounds. Have, you know, 18 points, of course, speaks for itself. Actual scoring shots, 27 to Fitzroy, 24 to Collingwood.
Centre bounce once again. We're about to enter time on, but bear in mind there'll be plenty of that, probably 5 or 6 minutes, or possibly more. Shaw gives it across to Walsh, onto the right foot this time, down towards the half-forward line. No mark taken. Dacos shoots towards goal, and I think he's gone. Well, that's a good goal by Peter Dacos, but he has been so quiet as Collingwood register their 7th. 7-18-60 to Fitzroy's 15-12, 102.
Yes, the tempo of things has really gone off the game since Bernie Quinlan kicked his goal. Right now it's Dacos. putting the ball through. As on replay, it's 102 to 60. Once again, Tony Shaw brings the ball out of the centre. Parrish comes out for Fitzroy, takes it well, puts it wide where Nettlefold's on his own. Nettlefold having time to steady. He'll look for Roos. Roos comes across and a lovely mark to Paul Roos. Roos has kicked 2 goals. Puts the ball right up towards the square. Quinlan at the back has been paid the mark. So right on the last, on the goal line, Bernie Quinlan has taken the mark. So far more relaxed Bernie Quinlan, I would believe, with 100 goals already on the board. 2 today. He's now going for goal number 3. We find Bernie Quinlan. Full points. He's kicked his 3rd. So 3 goals to Quinlan. As Fitzroy go to 16-12, 108. Collingwood 7-18, 60. So it's 48 points, the margin held as we watch the replay. You're watching the replay on 7's Big League. As Paul Roos puts the ball up and Bernie Quinlan at the back of the pack takes the mark. Centre bounce. Well, there'll be no bounce yet, there's no ball there. So it's 48 points, the margin held as big Matt Rendell waits in the centre. It's been a fine effort by Troy. Collingwood led by 6 points at quarter time. Fitzroy by 23 points at half time, 31 points at 3/4 time, and now it's 48 points. Rendell beaten for it on that occasion. Wilson coming through, takes it well, puts the ball down. Quinlan comes out, misses a sitter, straightens up. Bernie Quinlan now snaps towards goal, floating down just offline, and 1 point the result. Well, one that looked as though he was going to swallow. Quinlan dropped it. It's McCormick puts the ball back into play. Walsh out there with Loken. Loken taps the ball back. Walsh dives in after underneath it. The umpire will decide to bounce it. Rendell there with Fellows. A bit of soccer tactics by Philip Walsh. Rendell gets a tap. Tapped on now to Clayton from Roos. Scott almost took the mark in the front, gets the hand pass across to Bradley Gotch. Gotch snaps towards goal and brings up his 3rd. Good play, Mark Scott.
Seven's Big League is part of the Holden Premiership season.
And Mark Scott, the leading goal kicker for Fitzroy, he finished up with 4. Quinlan got 3, likewise Ross and Gotch. 1 reported player by 2 umpires, 2 field umpires. That was Mike Richardson, reported on a striking charge, and he'll front the tribunal on Monday night. Stats on the game, let's look at them now. The kicks in favour of Fitzroy, 189 to 153. Not much in the marking situation. The frees, 36 to 42. Handballs, little difference there, only 6. The hit-outs, 29 to 32, not much difference likewise. And the shots at goal, 36 to 32. But of course, Collingwood at one stage during the match kicking 14 straight behind, and you don't win matches with kicking at goal like that. After the game, Stephen Phillips went into the Fitzroy rooms and spoke first of all to 100 goal kicker Bernie Quinlan.
Bernie, the nervous 90s, they call it in cricket. What was it like in football today?
Oh, it was the same for me. I had the butterflies all day, Steve. I was certainly glad when that last one suffered.
Tell us about the day. You kicked points early, you missed from point blank. Everything seemed to be going wrong.
Yeah, I even thought at one stage that, gee, I'm not going to get it today. And I thought, oh, gee, it's going to be disappointing. A great win like this, and I'm going to miss out on the 100 goals. But, gee, I was glad when that last one sailed through.
Yes, it was a fair weight between 99 and 100.
It was, yeah. It was the hardest goal I've got all year, I think.
What about when you kicked 100? Have you ever been the centre of such a mob?
No, never. No, I've never experienced anything like it. It was just fantastic, you know, it's a great feeling.
The side couldn't really have done much better against Collingwood. They've ended their finals hopes.
Yeah, it was a tremendous win. We knew that today that we had to win to keep the double chance, and Collingwood were fighting hard to get into the 5. So, you know, we came through, and we came through really well.
A great win to Fitzroy today at the Junction Oval over Collingwood. One of the stars for the Lions was the smallest man on the ground, Brad Gotch. And Brad, the whole side seemed Bernie Quinlan conscious all day.
Oh, we may be a little bit, but we're just hoping that Bernie could get his 100. And most times we keep the space open for him in the forward line to lead, and he's our main target, so we look for him.
What about the two-pronged attack now with Mark, Scott and Bernie?
Well, Scotty's fantastic. He gave me 2 of the goals today from handballs. But, it's fantastic because he leads up the ground and Bernie leads as well, so we've got 2 options.
With Gary Sidebottom to come back into the side and the great form of Matt Rendell today, Fitzroy seemed to have a very tall side.
Yes, it is fairly tall, and it helps, with our forward setup. Maybe it's good, for me. With the high flyers, there's plenty of crumbs to get.
Let's check the leading goal kickers now. Of course, Bernie Quinlan topping the ton, 101, with 3 today, followed by Beasley, Matthews, Conlon, Danaher and Brady in action tomorrow at the SCG. You're watching Sevens Big League, back with Hawthorn and Melbourne in just a mortgage on a fortnight back. Melbourne too had played very well against the in-form Essendon last week, and so Hawthorn believed they weren't going to be in for an easy afternoon. Interestingly, the Hawks were chasing their 21st consecutive win over the Demons, their last loss against them being right back in 1973. At VFL Park, Peter McKenna and Jack Edwards, our replay begins at the start of the second quarter.
We go into the second term, we see Hawthorn with a lead of 14 points over a very determined Melbourne side. McLean got that big tap from the centre. The umpire whistles up a free kick to be taken by Schwab. He can go out wide if he wishes, but I think the Hawthorn tactic is to come straight down the ground. That he does, but Williams was in the way, couldn't hold the mark. Matthews goes goalward, it's off target, going toward the boundary line. It bounces over, so a boundary throw-in will take place in the forward pocket for Hawthorn.
I think they're using a new football, which is very sensible, Jack.
Yes, we had a lot of rain. It rained for about an hour prior to the game starting. The top of the ground is greasy. Conditions quite good, though.
Michael Byrne against his old club. Goes back in after. Good play, Michael Byrne. Back to Buckenara. Here's danger. Hand pass to Schwab. Can't get away with the ball. It goes Rodney Wright from half-back. Gets it across to Dale Dixon, who's got a mammoth job today picking up Michael Tuck. He kicks long. In comes Bertie Dipier Domenico and nearly mucked it up. Teddy Fitz beat him to the ball and punched it over the line and out of bounds.
Peter spoke of Michael Tuck. He had a great first quarter. He's playing with a very heavily strapped hand that, to guard the dislocation he had on one of his fingers, but he kicked 3 goals in the first term out of Hawthorn's 5-4, so he's not doing a bad job. There he goes again. Got it out to Mew, who got the ball up toward the half-forward zone. It's been thumped to turf, ducking the head in there. It looked like Brereton got the hand pass out. It's been kicked very high, though, down toward the half-forward zone. Here's Knights doing a good job.
Yes, that kick came down from Ian Payton. Knights playing well, as Jack said. He kicks wide to Robertson, who is also playing well, Colin Robertson. He's on half-forward. He probably won't make the distance from here because he'd be 55 metres out. Oh, he's gone. The short one, his teammate wasn't ready for it. So Wallace picks up 20 metres out, fires at the goals, and Terry Wallace has put it through for his first. And Hawthorn move on to 6 goals for. 6 goals for 40, leading Melbourne 3 goals to 20.
Well, they say it beats class, and that certainly proves it, because Wallace wasn't even expecting that short pass. He wasn't looking for it. He didn't call for it, and Robertson decided to go short to him. I think he got the shock of his life. The ball bounced around a little while. Wallace picked it up and kicked a goal, so that was unlucky for Melbourne, but fortunate for Hawthorn. Peter told you Melbourne are trailing by 20 points after that goal by Wallace. Back to the centre. And we'll see Payton opposing McLean. Payton got the tap down, taken by Batterston, who kicks long down to the forward zone. Flower used the body well, but it's been hurried out by O'Halloran over toward Robertson. Robertson at half-back, looking toward the member side, looking for a lead. He can see a couple of leads, and one is by Brereton. He can't quite get to the bounce of the ball, but off the body it ricochets down, and the ball driven up there by Schwab into the forward pocket. And Buckenara doing the tackling with the man underneath, wasn't in possession, and Hutchison takes the free kick.
Yes, Greg Hutchison, half-back flank, kicks towards centre wing. A one-out duel here. Reynolds gets caught. Mew, now that's a free kick. No, the umpire paying the advantage here. Here's danger. Peter Knights charges after it. Can't pick the football up. Now he's got it. Onto the left foot he goes. Goes for the hand pass, a bad hand pass, because Wallace was covered when he gave that hand pass. Young player for Melbourne there, David Williams, was caught with the ball. Over the line it goes and out of bounds. 6 goals for Hawthorn, double Melbourne score, who are on 3 goals to 20.
Time clock 3.5 into the second quarter. Knight's got the tap down, taken away by Richards.
He looks into the open centre line. He can't find a soul, so he kicks straight toward Payton. Payton has trouble picking up. Got it back to Robertson. Robertson uses his skills now to get out of trouble. In fact, he got himself into trouble. Smith has the ball underneath him. Can't pick it up. Deep Domenico went in. Smith hooks it out. It's been picked up and booted by Dixon up to the half-back line. Taken away by Cordner. Cordner gets a hand pass working. Not a good one. It comes out to Fidge. He moves it on to O'Donnell. And O'Donnell moves it again toward the half-forward zone. Can he find a teammate? It looked like a mark to me for Mew, or a free kick anyhow, and that's what will happen.
Bit of a corky there.
Yes,
too,
I thought that. I was about to say that Melbourne lost the services of Stephen Ick in the first term, which is a big loss for them.
Was it ever? They'll certainly miss him as Payton comes away from the centre. A shocking kick up towards half-forward, waiting for it is Stephen Smith, who's doing a fair job down there, although his opponent is playing reasonably well too, Brereton. It's grabbed there by Kelly O'Donnell. Up towards half-forward, out they come, Chris Mew again. Like a rocket bowler, over to Robertson, who's playing a great game. Colin Robertson out wide, Ken Judge. Half-forward flank comes off his knee, in fact, over the line and out of bounds.
Well, if it came off his knee and out on the full, it would have been out on the full, Peter.
I don't know whether it actually went out in the full, though, Jack, whether it bounced just in or otherwise it would have been, as you said. It's on half-forward flank as they Byrne does the ruck work against McLean. It's grabbed there by Richards. Richards on half-back flank, kicks to the centre of the ground. Up they go for the ball. It's punched away by Shields. Charging through. That's great play in Payton. He kicks wide. Zantuck ducks back and takes a safe mark over the back there of Lethal Lee Matthews.
Zantuck coming to his kicking foot, swings the ball to the member's side, and can he find a teammate? A great diving mark has been paid. And is it O'Donnell? No, it's Connolly. Got it out to Johnston. He goes a long hand pass. Might come unstuck though. Richards in trouble. He got out of trouble all right. Swings away from the half-back zone. A long hand pass to the outer side. It's been shot out there. And Wright gets it back again. He's in trouble also. Umpire calls play on. It's been picked up by the dangerous Tuck. And he finds Knights. Look at this. Into the open goal goes Peter Knights. And it's a goal. Good football, Michael Tuck. Good football indeed. Hawthorn 7-4, 46, Melbourne 3-2, 20 on 7's Big League.
Well, what shocking play by Melbourne, Jack. The handball, they overdid the handball instead of kicking. And the main reason they did overdo the handball, there was no one down on that Melbourne forward line making a lead for the football. They had no one to kick it to, so they thought they had the handball. And, of course, it got them into trouble because they went the one hand pass too many. And you cannot do that against Hawthorn because their tackling is so good and so strong. Great, beautiful pass by Tuck over there tonight.
Oh, he's playing a great game of football. And the ball bounced again in the centre, brought down by McLean. Tuck did the tackling. The ball hurried out of the pack up toward Williams and Knights. They'll neither take the mark. Knights gains possession. Hand passes back to Wallace. Wallace goes short. It's by Matthews. The pass is good. And Matthews about 45 metres out from goal. Going short again and finds Wallace. So those two combining for this assault on the goals. Wallace has kicked one goal. So he's going for his second goal in the Hawthorn total of 7-4, 46 opposing Melbourne 3-2, 20. Terry Wallace. Looks good. The umpire says all clear, and Wallace kicks his second goal. Hawthorn taking a grip in the second term at VFL Park. Hawthorn 8-4, 52, Melbourne 3-2, 20 on 7's Big League.
Hawthorn had booted 3 more goals and led by 47 points.
And he can take the mark and will take the mark in front of Batterston. Plays on quickly, finds Shields. Shields on the member's wing with the ball bouncing away from him. It might come up to him, it does kindly. Shoots it to Wallace. Wallace can see Matthews, but he goes short into Judge. Judge can hand pass back to Wallace or back to Shields. He goes for a foot pass, which isn't good. Hand pass back to Schwab might be on. No, he's changed his mind. He goes back to Judge. Hawthorn messing around a bit. Judge gets it out to Wallace. Wallace shoots it into Schwab. Schwab has followed the ball right down, has a shot to goal. It's over the head of Tuck. No, it floats away from Smith, who got the fist to it to put it over the boundary line.
Full marks to Stephen Smith. He's under a lot of pressure down there. He is certainly one of Melbourne's better players and trying his heart out as Hawthorn are just bringing that ball down in droves as the ball comes in with Payton getting it down to the ground. Here's a chance for Matthews. Away he goes, Lee gets it. One of his teammates gets in his way though. Judge comes out of the pack with the ball back to Tuck. Tuck fires on the left foot and I think he might have kicked it, has he? Yes, it's a goal to Michael Tuck. Goal number 4.
Michael Tuck kicking his 4th goal, increasing the lead Hawthorn enjoy over Melbourne. Hawthorn, 11 goals, 8, 74. Melbourne 3-3, 21 on 7's Big League.
getting their goals far too easily, though, Jack. There is no way known that Judd should ever have got out of that pack with that football.
Well, it's surprising, though, Hawthorn do this repeatedly. They just hustle it out of the pack, and they know quite well it's coming out. They don't try and grab it and barge their way out. Ayres coming on.
Well, he didn't look fit, Jack. And to me, whether he's carrying an injury, he looks very slow today, Gary Ayres.
Well, Rodney, he doesn't look that fit either, but the ball's been put down in the centre. Johnson was being held, not in possession, and he could put Melbourne into attack. Melbourne have only added one behind at their score since quarter time, and the quarter is nearly 20 minutes old.
Teddy Fitch, half-forward flank. He's trying very hard, Fitch. Up towards full forward. They need Peter Moore firing. A free kick to Peter Moore for shepherding, said the umpire. Now, this kick will take place about 35 metres out from goal, directly in front. So Melbourne badly need a goal, and they need Peter Moore firing. Admittedly, the ball hasn't been up there too often. There's the kick for goal. He stabs at that one. He's put it straight through the centre. Goal to Melbourne, kicked by Peter Moore for his second. And Melbourne move on to 4 goals 3, trailing Hawthorn 11 goals 8.
Melbourne have kicked 4 goals, 2 kicked by Moore and 2 kicked by Flower.
And Moore's going into the ruck, which is good to see.
First time in the game, though, isn't it? And we've been playing 20.5 minutes. So the Brownlow medalist ruckman coming onto the ball for the first time in the match as the second quarter draws to its 21st minute. Moore in there, got the tap down, didn't go very far ready. Been taken out, hurried out too, and so chance for Johnson after the hand pass from Wilson. Comes up to the full forward zone, it comes to turf. Rodney Eade with 3 against 1, taps it toward the boundary line. Fitch gives chase, and the ball finishes over the boundary line in Melbourne's forward pocket position. Hawthorn 74 points, Melbourne 27 points on Sevens Big League from the VFL Park ground.
McLean, who is now resting at full forward, whether you call that a rest or not, debatable, against Chris Mew. Mew got it down, grabbed by Fitch. Here's a chance for Melbourne. Fitch towards full forward. The mark, though, was taken there by David Polkinghorne. Polkinghorne with that funny action kick, kicks towards the half-back line. He's got a loose man. Chris Mew is having a picnic today. Goes for the hand pass to Robertson. Robertson onto the left foot. They've got running players everywhere, Hawthorn. Over the back, here's a chance for Shields. Or as Jack Edwards would say, is it Brereton? They certainly look alike, but I think it's Shields this time. He breaks away and kicks towards Knights. Knights flies. Oh, boy. Couldn't take that one, though. Free kick. Melbourne's way. And it looks like it'll be going to Shane Zantuck.
Yeah, Knights up too high. The ball went straight through his grasp.
No, it's right.
It's right, taking the kick to Smith at the half-back position. Smith swinging around, looking for somewhere to go. You can see a lead by Cordner at the half-forward position. Tuck gets in the way, though. Tuck blew one hand, trying to protect that damaged hand, and he got a free kick. Got a push in the back against Dixon. So Tuck doing well in the free kick department today. He gets himself in front, and he gets the benefit of that position to gain free kicks. Michael Tuck, torpedo punt kick, works a mile downfield. Matthews there being held, no free kick. It comes to Brereton. Brereton gives it back out to Matthews. He'll snap at goal. He could have had a shot, but he goes out now, looks for Green, and a well-placed kick finds Green, who thought of playing hot, changed his mind, will go back and take the shot.
Brilliant play by Matthews. Many players would have just blazed away on the right foot. He turned back onto the left, eventually kicked it on the right, but he's looked for a loose man, and as you said, Jack picked out Russell Green. Here's the drop punt at the goals, swinging back. The goal umpire didn't move at all, and that's straight through the centre for a goal to Russell Green. Hawthorn doing very, very well out here at VFL Park. 12-8-80, leading Melbourne 4 goals 3, 27.
Well, Hawthorn going along in fine style in that second quarter. Melbourne threw a lot at them during the first term. Hawthorn leading narrowly at the first change, but some good teamwork in the second quarter of the match had enabled Hawthorn to open up quite a handy lead. And of course, Michael Tuck back in Hawthorn's side today after missing 3 matches with a dislocated finger. Let's go back now to the second quarter, closing stages thereof at VFL Park.
Well, back to the back line. Back to the back line to Peter Knights. As Jack Dyer used to say, rat bags at the back line. But still, Peter's playing a tremendous game today at centre-half forward. Richards, half-back flank. Buckenara after him. Buckenara certainly doesn't look fit to me. Up towards centre wing. In goes DiPier Domenico. Taken away Kelly O'Donnell. A tremendous tackle by DiPier Domenico. Didn't have a lot of chance to get rid of it, but boy, it was a good, strong, hard tackle.
It sure was. Movement by DiPier Domenico. Oh, over the back came Brereton. What a great mark that was. Brereton balking at half forward. Now gives out a hand pass. He's got himself a bit messed up there. Payton gets the ball moving up to Knights. He flew against Judge. No thinking down there. No talking, I should have said. Knights and Judge competing with each other in the air and the ball coming to turf. So you could say a certain goal missed by Hawthorn then, Peter, because it was messed up by the two forwards.
Yes, they did. They flew against each other. Even so, Knights was very close to taking that mark.
Well, Knights really shouldn't have flown. It was Judge's ball.
Well, here's Stephen Smith from full back, going out looking for Johnson. Oh, that's dangerous play. Hand pass coming to Wallace into the open goal. A lovely play by Hawthorn. Beautiful hand pass by Brereton. 4 goals to Terry Wallace playing in the centre. And they're doing what they like at the moment, the Hawks. They've moved on to 13 goals 10, leading Melbourne 4 goals 3.
That's the story on the 7 scoreboard from VFL Park as we approach the end of the second term. We've been playing 27 minutes now and a few seconds. Hawthorn 5-4 at quarter time. They now have added 8 goals 6.
Well, would you believe that at this stage of the game, Jack, that Terry Wallace has had 17 kicks?
Yes, I believe it, because I've seen him do it before.
Unbelievable.
And I'm seeing him do it again because he's a great player. He gets the ball a lot. Payton doing a good job too. Moves the ball out, taken by Judge. Looked for someone going past. Now changed his mind. The placement kicks to Brereton, and he takes the mark. So Brereton can have a shot at goal. The forwards of Hawthorn cutting the Melbourne defence to pieces.
Dermot Brereton has taken 8 marks.
What's his goal tally? Only 1, so he's going for his second. He's done well. He's given the ball away a lot, hasn't he? That one's going to hit the goal post again, I think. No, he got through. So he kicked the goal. That same goal post I spoke of has been struck 3 times in this term by Hawthorn. Hawthorn 14-10, 94. Melbourne 4-3-27 on 7's Big League.
Yes, and at the moment this is a 1-horse race. 11 goals the difference, 11 goals 1 in fact is the difference as we approach half-time. And they're just 2 classes of sides out there at the moment. And I don't want to knock Melbourne, but they have hardly got a winner out there at the moment, Jack. And Hawthorn, well, they've got champions playing well everywhere.
Well, they haven't got any winners. The ball thumped out by Payton again, taken by Batterson, chopped off here once again, and Green doing well too. He's going to have a shot. Green's having the shot for goal. And he's got it. He's kicked his second goal. He's playing on the half-back flank. Oh, what a goal.
Well, Hawthorn kicked 10 goals in that quarter, and they ran out the easiest of winners by 115 points. Tuck 6 and 4 goals to Wallace, Knights and Brereton, their main goal scorers. And for Melbourne, of course, Robbie Flower. Again, their leading goal scorer, and Robbie finished up with 3 goals. Stats on the match this afternoon for VFL Park. The kicks, Hawthorn well in front there. The marks 94-67, the free kicks 19-25, not a high total there to either side. The handballs 120-101, the hit-outs 44-30, and the shots at goal 50-19 in favour of Hawthorn. Let's check the scores from the other games played today. And first up down at Moorabbin, Fitzroy coming home like a steam train in the final term to finally win a thriller by 6 points. Gorosidis and Beasley got 3 each for Fitzroy. Mace, Cross, Meehan and Lockett all got 2 goals for St Kilda. And at Cardinia Park this afternoon, Geelong handed another thrashing, this time by Essendon. The Cats were never really in the game, as you can see by the quarter-by-quarter scores. The Bombers 8-4-1-2 at quarter time, and they ran out the easiest of winners. Danaher got 6 goals for Essendon and 4 each to Madden and Kink. Tui was Geelong's leading goal scorer, and he finished up with 3. You're watching 7's Big League. We'll take a break. Back to check the league ladder in just a moment. League, and it is brought to you with the compliments of Arnott's, who are awarding $5,000 to the team that tops the list at the end of the home and away matches. And North Melbourne looked like taking out that prize. They lead with 60 points, a game clear of 3 sides. Fitzroy, Hawthorn and Essendon, who all recorded good wins this afternoon and all giving their percentage a pretty solid boost. Carlton in the 5. The composition of the 5 can't change, but of course the order can with 1 round of matches to go. Outside the 5, Collingwood, Melbourne, Fitzroy, Geelong, Swans, Richmond and St Kilda. That's how they stand after round 21. And right now it's time to check our Rank Arena Player of the Round competition. Some fabulous prizes to be won, and of course Rank giving away 2 further video recorders during season 1983, also to our Player of the Round, whom we'll announce in just a moment.
The Player of the Round from today's VFL matches will win a fabulous Rank Arena video product valued at over $800 and a home videotape library courtesy of Electronic Sales and Rentals. You too can be a winner of a magnificent Rank Arena video cassette recorder by noting down the 7's Big League Player of the Round, his club and the result of the game in which he played. Entry forms available wherever Rank Arena products are sold.
And let's check our player of the round now. And who else could we give it to but at Princes Park this afternoon? An absolutely superb performance from this fellow, Ken Hunter, one of the top footballers in Australia, certainly. The Blues winning the match by 33 points. That's all you need for your entry form. Go to it, and of course, you could be the winner of a video recorder. We'll be giving it away very, very shortly, and of course, one also during the final series. Let's check the upcoming matches on 7 now, and tomorrow, live after World of Sport at 2:05, the Swans take on Richmond at the Sydney Cricket Grounds, and it will be, well, both sides very keen to win. Richmond, of course, after their diabolical display last week, and of course, the Swans also had their colours lowered as well. Matches for next week. And looking at the rounds, Essendon playing Carlton out at VFL Park, and of course, they could meet there twice in 2 weeks. However, it's going to be a great match there at the park next Saturday. Collingwood play St Kilda, Fitzroy play the Swans, Geelong play Hawthorn at Cardinia Park, North Melbourne play Melbourne at Arden Street, and Richmond take on Fitzroy at the...
Hello and welcome to the winners as the VFL season moves into the home straight. Our program this week covers 3 matches from the second last round before the finals. Can Carlton continue their late season winning streak, or can Collingwood displace them from the 5? And what will be the finishing order for the finalists? This week, a tough encounter between league leaders North Melbourne and 5th placed Carlton in the match of the day, which is like a final 2 weeks early. Fitzroy against Collingwood, the Magpies needing to win to play in September, and Bernie Quinlan needing 2 goals to become the first Lion to kick 100 in a season. And St Kilda against Footscray decided on the last kick of the day, and Bruce Duperoozle, who captained the Saints last